Hello, all. This is Jacob bringing you Doubet and Hockett. It's assessing time along with Alexandria. So let's get right on in it. So the first section that I covered was about TriMind. This whole chapter really zeroed in on ways to differentiate your lessons and gave four different ways to create assignments that allow students to differentiate their own work. So, the first thing I'm going to be talking about is TriMind. TriMind is a strategy for designing instructional and assessment task choices that appeal to analytical, practical, and creative thinkers. So, you might say, what does this mean? Well, luckily enough, I have a picture for you. So, here displayed is the way that you'd go about fashioning a TriMind. This is a TriMind template taken straight from the text. I'm sorry if it is a little blurry. Feel free to pause this video at any point to zoom in on these graphics, but you can also go directly to our PowerPoint presentation and pull up this template for yourselves. So the way they break it down is imagining students as three different types of learners: analytical learners, practical learners, and creative learners. So going back on this slide, you have your analytical learners who like to analyze, compare, contrast, see parts and whole, cause and effect, thinks linearly and logical sequential. You have practical learners who put ideas into action, apply knowledge and skills to the real world, execute tasks efficiently, engage in on the spot problem solving. And then you have your creative learners who like to imagine outside of the box. They're innovative, inventive, insightful. They come up with the novel solutions and they're very intuitive. They rely on their own gut. Um, so over here, I have a little meme if you guys would like to go over. Top your base level, at the bottom you have your most intelligent way of going about differentiating a lesson. The second section I have is the profiler. What the profiler does, it provides a framework for developing assignment choices geared towards the different intelligences, preferences represented in the classroom. Additionally, it's a means of connecting students to the working world as well as with roles or audiences for their work. So, what are the intelligent preferences? The preferences is drawn from Gardner's levels of intelligences. So we have all the here. This visual has 10, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 9, whereas in Gardner's 8 intelligences usually only cover here. This image essential. Feel free to ignore this section if you want to, or if you want to challenge your students and have a attacking the that we die, um, address it appropriately to your classrooms. Some classrooms might this appropriate for, but the rest of these are concretely all of Gardner's intelligences. So moving towards the template, we have different ways to break up these preferences. It gives you ways to engage each of these different thinkers. So you will be differentiating this assignment based on whether a student is a whole rhythmic learner or visual spatial learner or interpersonal or intrapersonal learner. So it says, remember, develop tasks for only 3 to 5 intelligences that serve as the best vehicles for investigating and communicating mastery of your learning goals. So don't go ham, don't all 8 for a classroom. If you don't have any students who are, let's say, visual spatial learners, you don't have to do visual spatial learners. It might be interesting to do so because you might have a student who doesn't know they're a visual spatial learner, but it's not necessarily for you to go above and beyond their required parameters. So then moving forward, I'm going to hand it off over to Alexandria to talk about the next two sections of learning styles. So we're going to ignore these next couple slides. These are ones that are going to be going over by Alexandria. But here is what I want you guys to respond to on your flip grids. So here you have listed Try Mind Profiler, Raft, and Learning Menu. You guys, as I said before, are going to be learning what Raft and Learning Menus are from Alexandria. But for now, for your Flipgrid assignment, please select Try Mind Profiler, Raft, or Learning Menu and discuss the pros and cons of Try Mind Profiler, Raft, or the Learning Menu, and maybe explain your reasoning why you think Try Mind's good or why Try Mind might be bad. So, for example, for Try Mind, I could say that it's hard to break up your students into just three groups of learners: analytical, practical, and creative. Um, some people might find this unreasonable, might see it as limiting, and that can be overall a major con. But there's also a big pro to it when you see that it provides you with exact language that you would be using with your students, which could be very helpful for learning educators and developing educators who might not know how to articulate the questions to an analytical thinker or a practical thinker or a creative thinker. So thank you for joining us today.